is my channel. Welcome to the final part of the Love is Blind Season 3 review. If you guys have not watched parts 1 through 4, make sure you head down to the link in my description and or the pinned comment to hear my thoughts. So today we're going to be talking about the reunion and what went down. To be honest, I found it very interesting, and I left it still wanting certain things to be answered and wanting to understand why the overall season was edited the way it was, finding out the information that we found out. So let's get into it. Of course, make sure you guys smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, smash every button you know that can help a sister out. I'm now in the process of working on 90 Day Fiance, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and follow me on Instagram because I will be posting on there my progress with that. Now, of course, the first thing that we address in the reunion is that the two couples are still married. That is Alexa and Brennan, as well as Colleen and Matt. Now, I thought that was so adorable. I was like, oh my god. Thank God, because I thought I was gonna be met with another heart wrencher, booty clencher, okay? Because I couldn't take no more heartache from this show. Honestly, it was an emotional roller coaster watching this entire season, and I didn't want no more surprises, okay? No more bullshit from this caca, right? So that was a really great, wonderful surprise. So I guess we'll get into the non-messy semantics, okay? So of course, Alexa and Brennan did not have any controversy at all, literally, throughout the entire season. So of course they did say that the only situations that they have been having while being married is little roommate situations, little petty arguments here and there, shit about dishes and stuff like that. And Alexa said something about someone telling her that not letting roommate issues become marriage issues, and that has helped her a lot with her marriage so far. So I thought that was very interesting because, again, they did not argue, they didn't have any issues, or nothing that they told us about, okay? Nothing that we saw on TV anyway. So of course, when they got married, I guess when they started living together, that's when the issues started to arise. Of course, we know that Brennan has absolutely no closet space because Alexa is a fashionista. She loves her clothes. She loves everything in her closet. She also does not wear an outfit twice, so she has to have her closet space. So apparently Brennan has like literally like a little corner in a closet, and she has like two closets, like 1.5 closets, and he has like a section in one of the closets. So that's crazy. And I remember I said in the last video, like, I feel like it's gonna be a point of contention in marriage where like he's just gonna be overpowered by her, like he's not gonna have like a personality. I'm telling you, eventually people get tired of that. Like she's very main character, which again, I push for main character energy, but when you're like in a relationship, you kind of want to let the other person shine too. Maybe he has no problem being, you know, the sidekick, I guess, but I don't know. I think they're just so adorable though, and I really hope they do work out, but I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't over time, but I really hope they do work out. Like, I am so shipping them, okay? Now, of course, when we go to Matt and Colleen, it's very interesting that they're still together, however, they do not live together. So, of course, they're going to be still together because they're not under the same roof. Now, from what I understand, the reason they do not live together is because Matt and Colleen have some problems with their leases, and apparently one leaving the other lease would cause some friction in terms of finances, and Colleen does have roommates and she doesn't want to leave them high and dry. So right now they basically bounce between each other in terms of seeing one another and making it balance until a couple of months from now where they can move in with one another. And I know a lot of people may find that a little weird, and to be honest, I really had to think about it. I was like, that is very strange, but I mean, as long as they're happy, I think that's all that matters. But knowing that it's Matt and Colleen, I was like, y'all not moving together. But we do have to take into consideration this was a very quick process. Obviously everything was up in the air. No one knew they were gonna come out with someone. It was a potential. So I mean, I don't think everyone was like, okay roommates, I'm out of here, or okay landlord, I need to be on a month-to-month just in case I get married, you know? So I think it kind of makes sense. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they actually do move in together. They do have plans to move in together, but as of right now they are living apart. Well, as of the time that we saw the reunion, they were living apart. Now that we got the happy couples out the way, let's get into the drama. So first we addressed the whole Cole and Colleen pool party dramatics when Cole went up to Colleen telling her she was hot. Now, this is the thing. I have no idea why we still on this, but apparently not everyone saw the clip and saw the extent of what was being said until that day. Now, this the thing, right? This the thing. I don't like how nobody held Colleen accountable. Okay? Empowerment. I don't like that shit. I feel like everybody basically jumped down Cole's throat for that shit. And I feel like watching this entire reunion, there literally was a Cole hate train. Now, let me just say, I don't like Cole. I think Cole ain't shit. I think Cole treated Z like crap, and I'm going to get into that. But this whole situation with Cole and Colleen, it's like, so we're not gonna come at Colleen for literally flirting with Cole back. So I had to write in the quote as soon as I saw the clip again. Literally, when Cole was flirting with Colleen, she said, and I quote, "Yes, you would be someone I'd go for in the real world." Giggling and shit. Is that not flirting? That sounds like flirting to me. If I was engaged, I would not be saying nothing like that. And yes, she did go immediately to Matt and tell Matt about what she said. But it's like the way that this whole situation was conveyed, it was as if Cole was coming after her and she was ignoring the advances. So it was just like, well, what is going on? What is going on here? Like, I can't wrap my head around how everybody was jumping down Cole's throat about this, but not down Colleen's. Is it because she came and said something to Matt and then, you know, Cole essentially act like he didn't do anything wrong? That possibly is it, because Cole really tried to act like it's not that big of a deal. But it's like, no. I think Colleen needs to be held accountable as well, which, I mean, you know, Matt really sat there and broke up with her for like 24 hours or whatever the case may be. But it's just like, I don't like how to this day, every time it's brought up, everybody just looks at Cole like, you're the this and it's like, Colleen just as bad, okay? So of course, Colleen does apologize to Z, and it's a very, very sincere apology, and it's very, very sweet that, you know, she acknowledges what she's done. She acknowledges that she loves Z and that she knows that, you know, what she did hurt Z and most likely hurt her and Cole's relationship. Of course, she acknowledges that, you know, she hurt Matt in the process. It was a very, very respectful apology. Z, of course, accepts the apology. You got Nancy chiming in about the men in general, okay? Talking about how Bartise and Cole were just overall disrespectful with their attraction for other women on the show, and how they were very, very disrespectful in approaching Raven and Cole approaching Colleen. And I was just like, whoa. Nancy chose violence. Okay, she said, watch this, okay? Basically, she was like, you know, you guys are engaged and you guys had very, very inappropriate conversations as engaged men. You know, these conversations should not have been had, and at the end of the day, a lot of these connections should have been cut off in the pods. And she's right. But I feel like a lot of people need to take in consideration, at the end of the day, this is not a regular engaged relationship. Like, you guys have literally all known each other for like, what, 10 days at this point? So like, there's a lot of like feelings that are still there, and a lot of people are seeing each other for all of you guys are seeing each other for the first time, you know? So it's just like, I'm not excusing it, but I get it. But at the same time, it's like, the producers are messy. Who the fuck is gonna have a damn pool party? Like, it's a pool party. Like, yo, you guys are seeing each other for the first time naked. That is messy. Like, that is messy. And it's like, you guys are letting this shit play into y'all mind. And Nancy also does point out that, you know, like I said, basically the issue was, you know, Cole genuinely didn't see anything wrong with his behavior. Cole says that, yeah, he did see something wrong with his behavior, and he immediately apologized to Zanab. Okay, he apologized to Z, and Z says no, he waited weeks to apologize. Now at this point, you start to see the reoccurring theme of the reunion. Did you apologize or did you not apologize? So now we start to see a lot of tit for tat. We start to see, yes you did, no you didn't, no you didn't, yes you did. And I'm just like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? How the hell can two people have two completely different accounts of the same thing that happened at the same damn time not too long ago? So they start going back and forth a little bit about whether or not he apologized and when he apologized. So much so to the point where like Cole literally calls her a liar. And you could see he's getting like visibly upset. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Because I'm like, okay, you could tell like there's some pent-up aggression. I could tell that either Z is literally on the path of I'm gonna defend myself no matter what by any means necessary, or literally this is how I felt, this is how I perceived it, this is what happened. So I'm trying to like read her and I'm just like, she literally believes that this is what happens. Like, I don't think that she's lying. And if she is lying about all of this shit, that means that she literally is on a vengeance course. Like, you know how like somebody does you wrong or somebody fucks you over so much so that you literally have a plan and you're out to destroy them? I don't think that this is what she's doing, but like I've known people who do this shit. Like where they're like, I don't give a fuck what it is that comes out my mouth. I do not care what anyone thinks about me or what I'm about to do, but I'm gonna do that shit. I'm gonna get what I deserve. And if anyone gets hurt in the process, I don't care. It is what it is. And it's like, I've seen that type of energy before and I've seen it in her. So I'm like, either she's extremely confident about what she's saying and she knows what she's saying and she's literally there to speak her truth and stand up for herself, or it's the other. And literally this is demon time. It's time to get her vengeance back and she lying her ass off. So I'm like, it's one or the other, but I don't think she's lying. But that's two completely different accounts. Either he literally waited 2 complete weeks to apologize for that or not. But then I'm like, I had to think. I was like, wait. Isn't the process only like 2 weeks in itself? So you're telling me he apologized right before the wedding? So y'all, I started doing the math in my head low key. I was like, wait, I'm confused as fuck now. I'm like, I don't know. Can someone please clarify to me how this shit makes sense? Like, if I'm not mistaken, the process is really maybe 2 to 3 weeks as a whole. It's like less than a month. So I'm like, this shit, it's not adding up to me now. So now everybody's just jumping down Cole's throat, okay? And of course, the jab about being mentally ill wasn't forgotten, you know. Brendan calls Cole out about how he's been disrespectful to Z the entire time. And that stuck out to me, you know. Like at first, I really started to think, okay, clearly Z might just be lying. Okay, if you guys are not aware, this has been a whole thing now. Z has been getting dragged up and down social media since literally the wedding aired. And I really thought that maybe like Z might just have some issues that she needs to deal with. But Brennan called Cole out. Alexa followed it up. Raven followed it up. All the cast members are basically bringing these things up. Now, it's been a reoccurring thing. Everybody is saying Alexa's this, Alexa's that, but it's like, if Alexa's this, that, and the third, why are the cast members essentially saying that Cole did this, that, and the third that we haven't seen? Make it make sense. You know, that wouldn't be a thing. You know, like, we saw what we saw for all of these episodes, and now we have other cast members that are clearly validating what we saw. You know, so it's like, I don't know. Some stories do sound a little weird, but there's perception and there's perspective. But we're going to revisit that a little bit later. Now we have Raven and SK, and of course we addressed the whole situation at the altar. Everyone was a little shocked about that. And of course the host that no one cared about. I haven't even talked about the Lachey's because who cares? They're like, yeah, we were so shocked watching this. No one cares what the guys think at all. And basically SK was like, yeah, you know, it just wasn't the right time. And basically everyone is shocked that they are still dating. I was confused, but I did, you know, write in my little hypotheses when I was doing the whole wedding synopsis that I'm very sure they're gonna get back together. They're gonna be fucking or some shit. I still maintain that I do think that Raven was there for ulterior motives. However, it is interesting that they're still dating. I don't know if it's gonna last though. I mean, we'll see. That's very interesting that they're still dating. But Raven did say that she was very caught off guard by SK saying no to her at the altar. She was not prepared for him to say no. She did think that he was gonna say yes, but she does think that him saying no was definitely not premeditated. And the way he said no to her felt like a movie. Like he literally paused. Like literally it was like a 5-minute response. Like it took him 5 minutes to say no. Even SK said he did not know what he was going to say. He did not think he was going to say no until the time came and he said no. He maintained the same reasoning, the difference of family, the timing, her not wanting to move, the school. So it's very interesting. It'll be interesting to see where they go in the future, if they stay together, if they don't stay together. To be quite honest with you, I really don't give a fuck. They were really boring to me. It is what it is. They are dating long distance. SK is in Cali for school currently, and she is in Texas. So again, time will tell. So we have Raven versus Nancy. I have no idea why the fuck they inserted this, but this proves that Love is Blind is messy as all hell. Why in the world did production have a whole montage of Raven and Nancy being shady towards each other? I didn't even notice this throughout the entire season whatsoever, but for whatever reason, they have the nerve, go audacity to insert this as if this was something we should have been paying attention to. They had had this one scene of Nancy saying to Bartise how she didn't understand how Raven was in his top because they're so different in terms of how they are, how their personalities are different. And then there was this other scene of Raven talking about Nancy in the confessional, how basically Nancy's like this girl that you would see in high school and be like, ugh, this is so petty. Why are we showcasing this? Like, what is the point? Like, this is dramatics. Like, I was very like taken aback by this, and I was like, why are y'all trying to cause division amongst these girls? Like, this is the thing, right? Most of these shows, right, they're extremely close with one another. Like, these casts, like, they're really close. Like, the men are usually close to each other, the women are really close to each other, the cast in general are usually very close to each other. Why in the world would you try to pit these women against each other when you know they're pretty close? Like, these girls especially, they're pretty close to each other. Like, this how you know they just be doing shit to do shit. They do, I guess, apologize or explain, I guess, to each other why they said what they said and how they didn't really know each other like that, but now they're all very close. SK says how he had never been in an environment where men could actually be emotionally vulnerable with one another and actually be dating the same person in one house. So that was actually very nice and touching. But what's very funny about this show, and this is how you know this show is fucking toxic. Like, if you guys have Netflix, if you guys haven't watched this season, please go watch this season. You know how toxic this show is when everyone is talking about something positive and actually talking about something touching, and they literally automatically start trying to talk about something dramatic. Literally, when they're literally talking about how heartwarming everything has been for them, how touching things have been, how close they have gotten, how the men were able to bond emotionally and actually be there for one another and console one another. Why the hell automatically they changed the subject to talk about Bartise and Raven and how basically Bartise was attracted to Raven and Raven ain't give a fuck? Anytime they would like talk about something positive, it would be like, okay, so yeah, this drama that happened here, yeah, what, how'd you feel about blah blah blah? It's like, could you at least let the moment naturally happen? Like, you could tell like they just like, yeah, this is a little too positive. Drama, please. And I understand you need the drama for the ratings, but it's like, could you guys at least not make it so blatantly obvious? So we have Bartise and his attraction to Raven. The most embarrassing scenario of all Love is Blind season 3. Now they play the clip of not Bartise telling Raven she's attractive. Oh, no, that wouldn't be enough. They play the clip of Bartise telling Nancy how much he thinks Raven is attractive. It was way cringier watching that at the reunion than it was watching it in real time during the episode. I feel like everybody has secondhand embarrassment watching that on stage. Apparently Bartise said he was embarrassed watching it, which is shocking. He doesn't like he gets embarrassed by anything. Nancy looked very embarrassed. I was shocked about that. Raven said she was taken aback. She said she never seen that clip. Like, she never seen it before. She heard about it, but she never seen it before. So she said that when Bartise had came up to her and, you know, said that she was hot or whatever, like, she just brushed it off. Like, she didn't really care. Like, she was just like, whatever. Like I said, she didn't care for that man. But when she saw the clip, she was just like, yeah, like, you know? Nancy said, you know, all of that brutal honesty that she had to basically take from Bartise, she appreciated it, but at the same time, he could have found a better way to say all the things that he said to her. And I agree. I'm a definite big fan of brutal honesty, but at the same time, especially when you have a partner, a romantic partner, especially, you have to be very, very careful the way you say things to them because you might be destroying their self-esteem. You have to be very, very careful because at the end of the day, this is somebody that you're supposed to love, who's supposed to love you back. Someone that you may be potentially marrying, someone who may be bearing your children or you may be having children with. You do not want to destroy their sense of worth with your words. What you say to them can ultimately shape their life with you. So when you're going to them and you're like, oh, this girl, she's so hot, I really, really liked her, and you know, I was supposed to be with her instead of you, that hurts. The truth may be the truth. Sometimes you may need to hear it, but sometimes you may not need to hear it. But just because you need to hear it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. People expect you to be hard all the time, right? And not act on your feelings and just suck it up. But it's like, bro, I told you to tell me the truth. I'm entitled to feel how I feel. feel about the truth, you know? And if it makes me sad, it makes me sad. If it makes me happy, it makes me happy. But don't tell people how to feel about the truth. And I feel like both Bartise and Cole were brutally honest, and not in a good kind of way. Like, they both destroyed the fuck out of their partners. And I can say both of them kind of had like their own issues walking into this, but like the way they treated their partners was just not okay at all. Bartise did say that, again, he was embarrassed and he did apologize. He said that he didn't like the way he acted. He was disgusted with how he was portrayed, etc. I guess an apology is an apology. Bartise said he is not insecure. He knew that his woman was a baddie. She was the baddest bitch in the house. Pretty much. Like yeah, like she was the baddest in the house. She gets a lot of male attention. He wasn't really bothered by it. SK said he was only bothered by the fact that he took an intimate conversation that they had as men and he used it as ammo against Nancy. Now, if you guys are not aware of what the conversation was, basically all the men had at one of these whole get-togethers where people from the pod showed up, where everyone was seeing each other. It could have been part 1 or 2. I don't remember. It was one of the previous parts I did. But basically, when everyone was getting together, everyone was talking about their first night with their significant other, and SK and Raven were basically very, very far apart, and SK was talking to the boys, and he was like, yeah, you know, we couldn't be more far apart, but it's okay, I'm on her time. And you know, Bartise was sitting there like, you know, if we was together, she would have been in my lap. Da-da-da-da. And it's like, nigga, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up. But basically, he took that conversation, and that's when he went to go tell Nancy, and then that's when he was divulging the feelings to her, and that's essentially what they showed on television and what was played at the reunion. So SK was like, yeah, that's not cool, bro. Like, that was an intimate conversation we had as bros, and if we weren't on this show and in this experience, I wouldn't fuck with you. Like, on some real, like, we would not be cool after that, because that's not cool. Like, you went and used that like against her. Like, nah, like, I wouldn't be cool with you, like, if it wasn't for this experience. And Bartise, I'm not even gonna lie, Bartise looked like he didn't even give a fuck about what SK was talking about. Like, he did this, maybe he was yawning, maybe he had to burp, maybe he was tired, maybe he was coughing and they just muted it. I don't know, but just his demeanor and the way he was looking at SK, it looked like he did not care. But the way he did it, it was just like a this, and he was like, yeah, all right, bro, I get you, I understand, sorry. He said something like that, and it was like, I need a little more passion. Even Cole's apologies were a lot more passionate than that, and everybody thinks Cole's a dick, just like you, bitch. You should be a little bit more passionate with your apologies right now. So apparently Andrew chose not to come to the reunion, rightfully so, because he would have got dragged, but it would have made so much good television if he showed up. I want to know why he put the fake tears in his eyes. So we move on to Nancy and Bartise, and we talk about their wedding. And Bartise says he was rooting for them. He wanted them to work. Could have fooled me. You said no at the altar. I was very perplexed. I was like, what are you talking about, sir? Were we watching the same wedding? Were we watching the same relationship? To be honest, literally from the middle to the end, you complained every chance you got. I don't remember one episode where you did not complain about Nancy. Okay, you were all in, and then all of a sudden you were losing attraction for her after that abortion conversation, and then like it just went downhill from there. Then you kind of went up, and then it went down, and then it went straight, and then all of a sudden you were saying no at the altar, and then you was trying to get back with her, and now we're here. So now you're talking about, I was rooting for us. Nigga, what? Nancy starts bawling. She starts bawling. She's crying. She's still emotional. Clearly she's still hurt about everything, and I mean, I would be hurt too. The thing is, you could tell Nancy actually loved that man. She had plans for that man. It was probably, she probably had a villa lined up to buy with that man, like a dummy. I'm sorry, I love you, Nancy, you're one of my favorites, but like a dummy. She probably had plans. She probably had real estate and investments lined up to buy with that man, and it didn't work out. At least we know that Bartise is not a fucking opportunist, because an opportunistic bum ass nigga would have married her, got a couple properties off that lady, and then left her dry. At least we know he's not an opportunistic bum, okay? Because a lot of niggas would have did that shit. So big ups to him for that, because let's be real, a lot of men would have did that to her. Tip my hats off to him for that. So you know, she starts crying, and I was like, damn, like I was shocked that she was crying. I don't know why, because I really thought that she would be like over it, because she seemed very absolute about walking away from him after his little proposal of continuing whatever the fuck that was gonna be after the wedding. But basically she explained that, you know, they promised to have open conversations with one another, you know, throughout their relationship, and she felt like he blindsided blindsided her, of course, at the wedding by saying no. He basically made it seem like he was all in, and when they got to the altar, he said no, and she did not expect that whatsoever. So she felt like she was hoodwinked, essentially. Now, what's even worse is, here's the kicker. We find out less than a week after the wedding, Bartise had another bitch. Shout outs to the cast members, because the cast members was making little slick comments. I forgot who it was. I don't remember if it was Alexa or Raven. They were sitting there like, oh, you had another girl on Instagram a couple days after the wedding. Like, they was all making little comments, and I was like, wait, what is going on? Wait, what? Like, literally, like, within that weekend of the wedding, he was with a tall blonde girl. What's so funny is, one of you guys made this comment on one of my videos about how he must want Raven because she's kind of more of a Eurocentric woman of color versus Nancy that has more darker features. But Raven has lighter features. She has like that blonde hair. She's taller. She has thinner, lighter features. Nancy has rounder features, darker hair, darker features. And I was like, oh my God, when I heard he was with a blonde, tall woman, I said, Bartise, 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 Bartise. I was like, not you proving colorism correct. I'm mind boggled right now. I said, wait. So now he starts getting real defensive. He's like, what girl, what? Like trying to act like he don't know what the fuck they talk about. So everybody's like, no, yeah, you was with a girl. Yeah, don't lie, you was with some girl. Yeah, not even a week after the wedding. He was like, okay, yeah, there was a boat party. Yeah, and I was with some girl. Nothing happened until like a week after. Nothing happened. But you see, I'm not gonna talk about my sex life to none of y'all. Everyone's like, what about? Oh, nobody said nothing about sex though. Nobody said nothing about sex. And we just say you was with another girl. He's like, okay, but you guys are leaning into it though. Like, you guys are leaning into it. He's like, nobody said nothing about that though. You're leaning into it. Nobody said, like, we're saying you was with another woman. He was like, okay, Nancy, you don't need to cry, bitch. There's nothing to cry about. That is trash. That shit hurts like hell. I can imagine if I got left at the altar and the niggas with another girl like that weekend. That hurts. That really hurts. So I was wondering, I was like, why the fuck is she crying? Like, I didn't understand. But when I heard that, I was like, it makes sense now. Bartise fake apologized, but it was like, yeah, that's not enough. Like, you're real fucking trash. I don't know how you could say in one breath that you love her and you was rooting for y'all, but this is what you do. You know, he said that's his way of coping. Your way of coping is hurting her more. I don't understand it. We need a better excuse than that, Bartise. So now we have the drama, the moment we've all been waiting for. Cole and Zanab, yet again, okay? Because we addressed them in the beginning, now we're gonna address them in the end. So this is the creme de la creme of problem, okay? We have this montage of Z. This is messy, and I didn't understand why the fuck they did this. So they put together this very, very strange montage of Z being naggy and I guess disrespectful to Cole, right? And there's there's a bunch of scenes of Z just like saying, I guess, mean things to Cole, saying things about Cole being messy, saying things about Cole not seasoning some chicken, just, I guess, not being overall nice person. But like, we all know that Z is a little passive aggressive and very type A and just is a pretty serious person. Meanwhile, Cole is the immature, happy-go-lucky, goofy person. Like, we kind of already know that already. Like, that, I think we already established that that's how their dynamic is, and that's why they work. Opposites do attract. But the way that montage was put together, it was just like, what am I supposed to get? Also, with the whole situation with Cole and Z, it was just like, why were these scenes not put and weaved together throughout the show so we could have got a more balanced outlook? If it was supposed to be a balanced outlook and Z was just equally as bad to Cole. That's what I was thinking. And I was like, as a journalist and someone that practically does this for a living, I was like, I know what the fuck they're trying to do. And I was like, yep, it's about to go downhill from here. So Z was laughing the whole time throughout this montage. He was like, ah, this makes me look so bad. And you know, Cole was laughing. He was like, yo, honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like, y'all, it was not that bad. Like, you know, he's laughing. He's like, it wasn't that bad, da da da. And you know, like they both laughed it off or whatever. And I was like, huh, very interesting. So that, as soon as I saw that, I was like, all right, this is gonna be very fun, you know? So she admits that she could have shown more grace. You know, she admits that, you know, there were times where like she was just being a little extra. But of course that montage was doing a little too much. She also says that she never lived with a man before, so there was a lot of adjustments that she had to make, and there's a lot of changes that she went through that she, like, you know, had to adjust to living with a dude. And even Cole was like, yeah, that video made her look a lot worse. It wasn't even that serious. So of course they start talking about their relationship and things like that, and Alexa starts talking about how Z is an amazing person and she doesn't deserve not even half the things that Cole did to her, and basically we didn't even see the half of what Cole did to her. It gets worse. So now we have the Lachey's. They're like, wait, what are you talking about? What happened? Now Raven chimes in. You know, she just starts listing. She's like, oh, the Tangerine thing, the body shaming, he got a girl's number at the bachelorette party. Cole's like, wait, I got a girl's number at the bachelorette party. What bachelorette party? Now understand, they kept saying bachelorette party, but they meant bachelor party. Now in my previous video I said that they had a bachelor and a bachelorette party, right? So the men went to like this rodeo saloon type situation. Meanwhile the women were getting peens slung in their face at a male strip club. That's literally what it was. And I remember I said that it was such a very interesting situation how like the men had like a PG experience, meanwhile the women were getting peens slung in their face. But allegedly the men went somewhere after their PG experience, so keep that in mind. Z says that right before they walked down the aisle, Cole came up to her and said specifically, I got a girl's number at the bachelor party, and you know, I was gonna she asked to kiss me, but basically I told her I was getting married. She said I don't do the cheating thing. Basically there was this whole situation where he got some girl number at the bachelor party. Allegedly, Cole says this never happened. Z is making this whole situation up. Cole said Z's a liar, making this whole thing up. There was absolutely no bachelor party. There was only a rodeo saloon situation. There was absolutely no woman present whatsoever. So this shit doesn't make sense and it doesn't add up. What we saw on television was no party. It was a rodeo, men stuff, cowboy shit, yeehaw. We saw a woman getting peen swung in their face. Everybody went home. Then we saw that big ass fight between Colleen and Matt. That's what we saw, right? Now, what's very funny is you had Brennan that was like, yup. And we're just looking at Brennan like, oh, okay, so Brennan, what you got to say? He's like, oh, well, no, I was too drunk to remember. Then, boy, shut up. What is you talking about? Oh, well, you know, I was lit. Then you got Matt, you know, I went home, I took an Uber. So who does that leave? Bartise and SK. So Bartise, SK, Cole, where did you go? We got Brennan that's drunk as fuck. Maybe y'all took him, maybe you didn't. We have Matt that went home, he took an Uber. SK and Bartise, mute on that couch. They just looking. I don't understand. So did y'all go somewhere or did y'all not? That's the only question that needs to be answered. Was there a second bachelor party or not? I want this confirmed. That, like, I had to go back in my notes. I was like, when did this happen? Like, yo, I was so perplexed. I'm like, nah, this did not make it to the show. Okay, I did not make it to the show. Now all of a sudden she is hurling accusations. You did this, you said that, you did that, you did that. She was like, thankfully the clips didn't make it into the show because that's what's saving you. And I'm like, wait, Netflix dropped the clips then. Netflix dropped the clips then. Y'all had all these clips to make a goddamn montage, but y'all don't have the incriminating clips that's gonna make Cole look worse than what he's looking and prove that Z is legitimately an abuse victim. Like at this point she is an abuse victim, like if you like a verbal abuse victim, like from what we saw. But like I want to see what she said. So at this point she's accusing Cole of body shaming her, verbal and emotional abuse. So I want to see it. Where is it? So now they going back and forth. Then she getting messy. I'm just like, I didn't sign up for this. This is getting like emotionally depressing. Like I started getting sad. Like I felt like my moral meter was going like, yeah, what is going on? Now you got Nancy just jumping in. I forgot what Nancy said. She said something. I forgot what she said. But Cole was just like, why do you hate me, Nancy? Like, why do you hate me? And I was like, Oh, this is so sad. Oh my god. I can't. I just can't. I really feel like people were jumping down Cole's throat. I feel like Cole didn't really get to explain himself. I feel like people were just throwing shit at him. Cole calling her a liar. He also said the whole bipolar comment again shows me, yeah, you didn't learn a damn thing. You really didn't learn a damn thing. Z said, like, you know, I could have dragged you. And I was just like, girl, you did. You embarrassed him in front of his friends and family at the altar. But with all due respect, if I was treated just based off of what I saw on TV, like literally all those edited down clips, I would have did worse. I know a lot of people think that what she did at that wedding was very distasteful. I do think it was distasteful. I don't take being verbally abused very well. I do not let anybody just talk to me any type of way. So it's like, yeah, no, you wasn't gonna talk to me like that. I would have did way worse than her. I think that was her way of coping. Bartise asked her, you know, when did you know you were gonna say no? And she actually said she didn't know. You know, she didn't know that she was gonna say no. All of this was in the moment. You know, they had asked her, you know, then what was the clapping? Because it did seem very performative. And I was like, I was waiting for somebody to ask that. And apparently she was like, you know, she don't know. Friends just did that. It was probably like a, you know, situation where they were kind of just like proud of her for standing up for herself. And, you know, Lachey said the same thing. Like, yeah, like it could have been just one of those things. And it could have been literally her friends supporting her, but it was too damn perfect. I was like, I don't know if I believe her. I don't know. That one I'm gonna just leave in the air. Z kept going saying Cole body shamed her, controlled what she ate, took food away from her, told her to order salad, made various comments about her body and her face. But of course, those clips were not used. And again, I say Netflix released those clips. And she said that these comments forced her not to eat. They forced her to starve herself. She said there was one time where like all she ate was like a banana and a scoop of peanut butter. And then there was the cutie story. This is when I realized something's wrong, something's going on. So the cutie story, which they did include a clip at the very end of the reunion, was basically where she essentially grabbed two little cuties oranges, and that is the serving size, which is two cuties oranges, little baby oranges. And basically he was like, oh, are you gonna eat two of those? Because, you know, we're going to dinner, you're gonna have like really big serving size of whatever. But the thing is, when you watch the full clip, it's not even that fucking serious, like when you watch it. However, what people need to understand is if you are being gaslighted, if someone is taking food away from you, making comments about your face and your weight and whatever the case may be, and they try to critique something that you eat, that is going to definitely damage you. I have a binge eating disorder, right? And a lot of it comes from my parents, sadly. Anytime anyone makes comments about what I eat, but particularly my parents, even if it's not that serious, it affects the fuck out of me. Even if they're just like, oh, what are you eating? Or did you eat all your food? Even if it's something minor, it triggers the hell out of me. Like literally, I might starve myself for the week, or I might binge eat that whole week. So something like to us that may look like, oh, it's not even that serious, he ain't say that, might be a big deal to her, because she might have been either dealing with something before she came on the show, or he literally probably did affect her so much to the point where anything he says about anything that's on her plate genuinely does traumatize her. So what may look like something small to us may be a lot to her. And the fact that we literally saw him disrespect the fuck out of her, compare her to a white woman, call her bipolar as an insult, as a person that is bipolar, is fucking disrespectful as hell. And among other things, this is just surface level for all of these episodes, and then now everyone's trying to make it seem like Z's a bad person for finally standing up for herself annoys the fuck out of me. I will say that overall, what she did at the wedding is literally distasteful. I wouldn't have done it. I'm not gonna tell someone how to deal with their trauma, right? Like at the end of the day, like standing up for yourself looks very different for many people, right? Like I said, I probably would have did it. I would have did worse to that boy. I definitely would have did worse. I think she did it the best way she thought she could. That should have been a conversation for the most part behind closed doors, but I feel like she handled it the way that she thought fit. And if that's how she thought that she could have handled it, so be it. It is what it is. What's done is done. Cole did apologize. He apologized to the cast. He apologized to everyone. Z said that she does not hate him. She does not regret the whole experience. And it's sad because Cole said that he does regret the experience because he feels like he ruined her self-esteem. Cole was crying by the the end of this whole experience. So it makes me realize that he might have learned something from all of this, but I feel like he's just more embarrassed than anything. I don't think that he genuinely has grown up at all from any of this. I don't think he learned too much from this in terms of like learning not to call people bipolar when they disagree with him. I think that he's just embarrassed from how he acted, and I feel like he let a good woman get away from him and he feels that. And I feel like he also is reeling from the fact that he's gonna have to watch himself acting like a fucking 16-year-old when he's 25 on TV for the rest of his life. Okay, he's gonna have that title of the class clown when he not in class for the rest of his life, because that, like, the way he acted was very embarrassing. But I do find it very interesting how like my dude treated that woman like trash for all those episodes, and literally we get one episode of Z in a shitty ass montage, and now all of a sudden everyone thinks that Z was a horrible person and Z was the one acting like trash to Cole. And it's like, I think that a lot of this may have to do with Z being a woman of color, and I think a lot of it has to do with white man tears. Okay, this proves that white man can do whatever the fuck they want and still be capped for, because how the fuck does this make sense? I'm trying, like, it's the only explanation. I might be wrong, but it's just my personal opinion, because it doesn't make sense. Like, we saw this man abuse the fuck out of her emotionally the entire time, and all of a sudden we're acting like he didn't do that. Okay, now I'm not saying what she did was right by any means. I'm not. But what I'm saying is we're not gonna ignore all the shit that he did, because everything that he did, according to what we saw, because of course there's editing, was 10 times worse than what she did. And of course, going into this, we already knew how she was. She never hid how she was. Okay, like everybody acting like these some new personality traits. Like, we knew she was passive aggressive, annoying as shit, and she was naggy and shit. Like, we already knew that. Like, why y'all acting like this shit brand new? Y'all fucking weird as hell. Like, it just doesn't make sense, you know? So I really do hope that Cole can find someone that can deal with his goofiness, because I really feel like he is a lighthearted spirit and he's cool as hell. He is probably somebody I'd be cool with in a general basis. I really hope that the rest of these people do find love, and those who are together can find some sort of peace. That reunion was very awkward to watch. I'm not even gonna stunt. It was very annoying to see these people pick at drama and pick at problems and put together montages that didn't need to be put together. It was like, what the fuck is the point of this? But all in all, I feel like Love is Blind is going down the drain. It's gonna be interesting to see Love is Blind season 4 and see how that pans out, because so far it's been a very peculiar situation. I am very happy that all of this ended on a positive note, at least. Z did say some really nice things to Cole. Cole did apologize to everyone. Everyone said their piece and whatever the case may be. This was fun, I guess. I'm happy it's over, because again, emotional roller coaster is fuck. All right, make sure you guys watch all the previous parts if you have not already. If you guys enjoyed Love is Blind season 3, comment down below. What were your highs? What were your lows? Will you be watching season 4? And what was your favorite season of Love is Blind? To be honest, Love is Blind season 1 is still gonna be my favorite. Yeah. With that being said, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and do all that, and I'ma see y'all next time. Bye!